What's up? How y'all doing? Yeah. First, we gotta do a big shout out to Mike for making this happen. It's a beautiful thing, man. You got the Beastie Boy mobile in the front. You gotta take pictures of that. You gotta love it. This one goes out to my man MCA. The peace sign in there for my man. You know what I mean? MCA Day is official, so make sure you hear it here every year. Is that correct? Well, just stay tuned every year and they'll give you updates. Because it looks like it may get bigger and bigger, so, you know. But thanks for coming out. I don't really know. Maybe I'll tell you a funny story about Yauch. Yeah. All right. It was 87 Lights of the Ill. And we had an opening band called Murphy's Law. And I can't remember, but for some reason they couldn't open up for the show. They missed the show, so we had to basically do a sabotage way before sabotage is made. We had to dress up. We bought wigs and suits and mustaches, and we decided to be a band called Trip Hammer. So my man MCA, he has this really tight pants on, and he takes a banana and he stuffs it right here. So I just start laughing. I'm like, dude, nobody's gonna believe that. Then he starts walking, and when he's walking, the banana falls all the way down his leg, and it goes all the way to the back, and he just keeps pulling up during the show. He keeps pulling it up. And I'm looking like nobody's gonna believe that. And I had to be the lead singer. I've never sung in my life. I just ran on stage, grabbed 2 mics, and just screamed. And fell on the floor, and it was a mess. But big shout out to MCA in the building. Yeah. I like that shirt, man. Thanks for coming out. I don't know what else to say. I might start rapping in a minute. Freestyle. Nah, Mike, you the man. You know, I caught a flight here. I was out of town. I barely made the flight because I was in the studio. And the line was like, through the x-ray, was like through the whole airport. I only had 15 minutes. So I said, I'm going to do some old school shit. I went around the line where they have like the wheelchairs and the pregnant people and the little kids. You know how they give you the special line? I got on that line. I got to the front. She said, you can't come through here. I said, they just pushed my brother through the wheelchair all the way to the front. And she let me through. If I didn't do that, I would have made it. I'm going to be honest. I definitely would have made it. I would have been, Mike would have been mad at me. Because I would not have made it if I didn't think of that fast one. That was a true story. True story. God forgive me for that sin. You got an instrumental, Beastie Boy instrumental over there? See how many Beastie Boy fans is in here? Yeah. How y'all feeling today? We living life for MCA. Yeah. Ain't that right? Yeah. Hip Hop Early, baby. MCA, Jam Master J. All my peeps. Y'all know about this joint? This is Brian Smoke. We had a lot of fun doing this. Do they still sell this drink? I never could find it. They never sell it anymore. Word up. A lot of ladies in the house too. Yeah! Hey ladies! I see you. Yeah. Fellas, where you at? Uh-oh. Somebody say, brass monkey! That monkey! Brass monkey! That monkey! Oh, nobody has none though. Hold on, stop that. When we used to do that, everybody used to have on the bottle and put it in the air and throw it on. Nobody drinks it no more. Cut it off. Yeah. And another story I can tell you, Sure Shot was I wrote that song, right? And I had flew out of town. I was out of town. It was about 4:30 in the morning, and the guys were still in LA, and I was DJing somewhere. I can't remember where I was at, but I was. And they called me and said, "Kane, that song that you had, how did that chorus go?" And I was like, "Who is this?" And it was like, "It's us." Us who? Adam, and Mike. Like, what song? The one you were saying in the studio, something about Sure Shot. I said, "Oh." And I had to say it over the phone, and I was like halfway asleep. And they kept letting me sit over and over, and I just had to just sit up and say it all over. So they took it, and they flew it in, and I wasn't even there. By the time I got there, it was laid down. You know, that's technology. Technology. MCA, R.I.P. This one goes out to MCA. This one goes out to JMJ. To all the people, yo, we miss you today. And you know we don't stop all day. Name is Hurricane and I love the freestyle. Grab the microphone and I do it for a while. Pull out your camera and take a flick. Girls in the back and they looking real sick. All these rhymes come from top of the brain. Go by the name of Vicky Hurricane. I did a suit, dressed in blue. Grab the microphone and I check it 1, 2, 3, 4. Knock at the door. And you know I got rhymes galore. I bought my Adidas in the motherfucking store. Catch me on the seashore. Stop. Alright, let me stop. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you enjoying yourself. Before I go and before I quit, we're gonna give you some of this brass monkey shit. Wow, I haven't held this bottle so long. I wouldn't drink it now though. Like when I was young and we used to drink Old English, and like I tried to taste it like about a couple of years ago, and it's like the nastiest drink I've ever had. I'm like, how did I drink this? It's just disgusting. I'm a grown man. Thanks for coming out. Put the peace sign there for MCA. MCA all day. Yeah.
Unreal. Hey, remember that time Hurricane freestyled at MCA Day 2013? Yeah, that was the shit! Pretty much every single person, this whole entire crowd has been influenced by MCA in one way, shape, or form. Right now I want to call up to the mic another person who's definitely influenced by MCA. Everyone's got their own thing. This is another guy who's influenced in the music realm. Let's have another huge, massive round of applause for our boy, Danny Boy O'Connor. Let's bring this up. Get this going.
Y'all good? Yeah! Awesome, it's so good to be here. My man DS, yo, you see the Cadillac outside? Alright, well imagine getting picked up in the airport in that piece. They were like, what? I was like, yeah, that's for me. I had my luggage ready. I was like, ah, that's all, you know how we do it. So, and everybody, I know it took a lot of people to put this together, man, and it's awesome. And I'm glad I got to be out here last year, man. And I woke up, I seen how we get our news. It's like, Facebook nowadays, and I seen that the MCA thing, and it's just gutted, devastated. And, for me, I'm like the #1 Beastie Boy fan. I started out that way. I wanted to be them so bad it hurt, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, we missed the boat. I want to rap. I'll do this thing too, you know what I mean? But, yo, they did it. They did everything I want to do and then some. And I was like, yo. But we ended up doing it anyway. We did House of Pain. And, and ironically enough, we got the call. The first tour we ever went on was the Beastie Boy tour. So I was like, yo, this cannot really be happening. We had Jump Around. It was doing like, it was a #1 on the charts. The Beastie Boys called up and was like, come on this tour. I had flashbacks to License to Ill. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to License to Ill Part 2. And I was telling Hurricane, and Hurricane, remember, man, because when we got out there, we were like 21, 22 years old. We were like buck wild. We were like, yo, what's up? And they were like, Dalai Lama. They were like, yo, we into the Dalai Lama now. And we were like, argh! The record went like, what? Like, nah, we ain't doing Dalai Lama, man. We're going to be doing License to Ill Part 2. Yo, Hurricane, he'll testify. He remembers I bought my first AK-47 in Dallas, Texas on tour. And I was pulling it on the tour buses and everyone was like, oh, no. So, and needless to say, we got kicked off that tour. By the time we made it to LA, we got thrown off that tour. So we did the last show in Sacramento, I think it was, and nobody told us, so we drove all the way up to Vancouver. And when I got to Vancouver, we went up this escalator. It was like the longest escalator you ever want to see. And I'm coming up the escalator, and MCA's coming down. And the look on his face, I was like, something ain't right. He was like, yo, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm checking in. He's like, nah, call your manager, bro. I was like, okay. Like, yo, so long story short, man, we came on. We was too wild. It was too crazy. We thought, like I said, we thought License to Ill was still in full effect. It made such an impact on our lives that we never wanted to let that go. That energy, that wildness, that brass monkey. You know, later on, we were always good. The impact that they have, you know, and nowadays it's ironic. You know, I'm at that age now where I do a thing called urban exploration. And I was telling Hurricane, and what I do is, like, I go to a lot of sites. Like, I seen the guy, I forget his name, that was hanging the signs up with the lyrics and putting them in the spots. There it is. Jay Shells. So, yo, big ups to him and what he's doing. But what I do is similar. I went to Hollis. I'd never been to Hollis, Queens. I went with my man. We went and found all the old Glennie Friedman locations where they did all the Beastie Boy photos. They did all the Run DMC, Jam Master Jay spots. We hit mad spots. So what we do is take the before and after still. So I hit a video still. I put it up there and I put in. It's my way of really connecting with those memories. And the memories that the Beastie Boys and MCA left were so powerful that's like what's important to me now. It's not, it's not the outside things. It's looking for those, cashing in on those old. And there's a lot of change going on in the city. LA, I live in LA, and LA's the same. So, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, it's always good to see it while you can, because, 1 minute it's there, next minute it's a new building and everything is gone. So, anyway, like I said, the impact is, I can see around the room, it's felt on everybody, man. And we're missing a good dude, and the world will never be the same. And for me, the best I could do is just come out here and tell my story. So I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great time tonight. MCA, rest in peace, man.
All right, thank you very much. Our next guest is somebody that I'm very excited to have talk here tonight. Like I said, there's a lot of people that I met last year at Union Square that I'd never met before in my life, but who changed my life forever. Forged some amazing friendships, and on our sites last week, I posted a little something about our next speaker. And for everybody that couldn't be at Union Square last year, that wanted to just be there in a physical space with like-minded people that were feeling the same way. For people that wanted to, tell the Beastie Boys or tell anybody how they were feeling and console them. This is the guy that did it. This is the guy that hugged Ag Rock for you. This is the guy that told Adam Horovitz what the Beastie Boys have meant to you. And it's a pleasure for me to introduce Matt Hamilton to talk to you today.
What's up, you guys? What's up, Brooklyn? Just real quick, I got to meet Adam Horovitz last year. I got to tell him all the things that I wanted to tell him, just about the Beastie Boys. For me, for a lot of us, coming up, when like I told Adam last year, when License to Ill came out, I was 12, and I was that skate rat punk rock kid. I was that obnoxious son of a bitch that record was for. But as those guys grew and progressed and saw the way that they wanted to relate to the world and the way they wanted the world to relate to them, we were doing the same shit along with them. And Ad Rock looked at me and said, "We grew up together." And that just blew my fucking mind, man. But the thing I want to say today is that none of this was supposed to happen. 3 punk rock white boys were not supposed to make a hip-hop record. That hip-hop record was not supposed to be the first #1 hip-hop record. And those guys, most people thought they were a joke. They weren't supposed to make another record. And that record wasn't supposed to change music forever the way that it did. And then these obnoxious punk rock, skate rap kids were not supposed to do Check Your Head, a Sergeant Pepper for our generation. Where you know, and as those guys, and this is what I told Adam last year, as those guys were saying, you know, we reject this obnoxiousness and we need to respect women and respect each other and do this. We were all doing this together. And it wasn't supposed to be this band, right? So, and then the next thing you had happen, like you had this career, you had this, it wasn't supposed to be these guys. They weren't supposed to do this thing, and Yauch was not supposed to be the guy that got sick. And when he did get sick, I didn't think it. I thought he was going to beat it, like a lot of us, you know? And that wasn't supposed to happen either, you know? But it did. But the other thing is, the way this man lived his life, if it were just the music, I would still be here. But it's not just the music, it's the way this man lived his life. And when I say I want to honor the man Adam Yauch, that's what the fuck I'm talking about. And so it wasn't supposed to happen, but you know what? Last year, my man Mike right here said I gotta do something. And if all I do is put up my boombox and play this music for whoever wants to hear it, it'll be whatever it is. And it was what it was. And what happened last year wasn't supposed to happen either. Right? That was just supposed to be one dude with some beats. But what happened last year was a community got created. A community that already existed. But people came together because of this man, because of the way he lived his life, and that wasn't supposed to happen either. And you know what else? This wasn't supposed to happen. All right? This organic, beautiful expression of peace and love and respect for this man, for the way he lived his life and for the influence he's had on all of us. This wasn't supposed to happen either, but God damn it, it did. And I'm glad it did. And I want to say thank you to Mike Carney for bringing us all here, for bringing us all together. And for throwing it up for Adam fucking Yauch. And let me just be the one to say, I can't pass this opportunity up either. Nobody's done it yet, so let me do it. Hello, Brooklyn!
That's it. That's it. Drop a fucking beat. Let's go.